sometimes we women deal with real losers. And sometimes we even have children with them. And there are a lot of red flags. This is a protection order hearing in front of the Honorable Judge Manning. Pay attention to the red flags. I know Judge Manning will be.
Alright, Mr. King. Is your lawyer going to jump on, or is it just, done?
They're trying to get an answer, man. They're working diligently right now. I don't have counsel for this case at this moment, man. And I'm trying, like I said, I was instructed to ask for a continuance. I have evidence that my counsel has been given, and they just need time to prepare properly, man. Like, I was literally just served this last week, last Friday, man. I understand the seriousness of this. I understand the seriousness of this case, and I'm not trying to shuck or jive anyone, ma'am. Like, I just want a fair trial, and I want all sides to be heard properly. So I'm just asking for mercy of the court, and please, Sean Whitworth, please allow me a continuance for my counsel to be able to represent me properly. We have spoken at first. At first, I did retain them just for the custody case, but I have since asked them to join in on this case also, please.
Your Honor, he was served with both matters simultaneously. He went and got an attorney, and he got the attorney to represent him in the modification, fully aware that there was a TPO. His attorney, we reached out to the attorney to seek if they were going to represent him, to which we received no reply.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I was not simultaneously served with the I was served with the custody case, ma'am. I literally was just served last Friday, like I said, with the TPO. I had no case, no date to. I didn't know when I was going to be served.
So when he was served, he actually had counsel then, and for the modification, he was represented, and chose not to retain them to be here today.
That is not true, sir. Sir, that is not true.
You served on February the 1st.
Ma'am, I was served on February the 1st with the custody case, ma'am.
No, sir. This shows that you were served. The sheriff's department here, they served you with this on February the 1st. That's the note in the sheriff's department. So.
Okay. That's just.
Yeah, and Your Honor, we actually had a motion. We actually used a private process server, I believe, on this because there was failure of service the first time. So the affidavit of service is correct. It was filed February 3rd. He was served February 1st.
There you go. Okay, well, since you're so it shows you were filed February the 1st.
Ma'am, I'm speaking to my counsel right now.
All right, hold on one second.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Antoinette. Okay, first of all, you were late. So Ms. Free has invited you to a breakout room. You need to go to that so she can talk to you.
Okay, yeah, I was at work.
Go ahead and go to the breakout room because I'm hearing a case. So you go into the breakout room that Ms. Free asked you to go to in there, and she can talk to you. All right. So we're going to go ahead and go forward, though, Mr. King. Mr. Jackson, once you put your information in the chat, you can also leave. All right, because it shows you were served on the 1st. All right, so here's where we're going to start. We're going to let Mr. Whitworth, are you going to need to an opening, or you just want to go straight into evidence?
Yeah, Your Honor, I could just give you a little background if it was important. These parties, I'm sorry.
These in. All right, Mr. King, if y'all both raise your right hands for me.
Ma'am, I have evidence that my counsel has that I need them to present, ma'am. I don't know.
You need to get the evidence from them because we're going forward. Mr. Ms. King.
Could I get a recess, ma'am?
No, sir. No, sir. You were served on February the 1st. Okay, so we're going forward. Y'all both swear. Mr. King, raise your right hand. Raise your right hand, Mr. King. Swear for testimony about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Both of you just nod your heads. All right, go ahead, Mr. Whitworth. Give me your name.
Just briefly, Your Honor, there's a 9-year-old boy in question here. They were divorced in 2021. Father was given regular standard visitation at that time. There was a history of violence. My client took out on about January 11th. It was filed a petition for a temporary protective order, which she makes certain claims against Mr. Aziz, and particularly on January 5th. During a pickup and drop off, he approached the car in a volatile state of mind. He proceeded to shatter the passenger side window where the child was sitting, shattered both windows with his fist. The evidence will show. He claimed she ran over his foot, but then he ran around to the other side of the car and proceeded to try and shatter the driver's side window. The firemen pulled my client away from the scene, called the police. He grabbed the child and left the scene, and apparently later went to give his own statement to the police. There's a history of strangulation, of physical violence, of threats of violence, and all of this happens in front of the child on a regular basis. There's a recording that exists. My client did start a recording. He clearly is saying he is going to kill her, he is going to shoot her, and he is going to make his son an orphan. These are his words. So today we're asking for a 12-month protective order for the mother and the child. We have an underlying modification case pending right now that he did hire counsel for that maybe will resolve some of this, but we think she needs immediate protection at this time, Your Honor.
All right. All right, go ahead. And I hate to do this, but like at 10 o'clock, so that's 5 minutes, so you can find a place to stop. Run real quick, tell my expertise the results of their petition, and I'll come to it. Give me like 5 minutes, and I'll be right back. So,
Okay.
Go ahead.
At this time, Ms. King, take yourself off mute, please.
Yes.
Okay, Ms. King, you heard my opening statement. On about January 5th, did Mr. Aziz approach your car in a state of agitation?
Yes, he pulled up very aggressively to the fire station where we need to exchange custody of our son.
Was your son in the car?
Yes, he was in my car.
How old is he?
He's 9 years old.
And as he approached, did he try and force the door open?
He did. As soon as he approached my car, he yanked on the door. And so I told him that don't pull on my door. And so I unlocked it and and told my son that he can get out. So he opened the door aggressively. And
so Mr. King, this is just advice. Maybe you want to pay attention to what's happening in here instead of being on the phone. Go ahead, Mr. King.
so
This is my counsel, Your Honor, talking to me currently.
I don't represent you in a TPO.
Yes, ma'am.
That's why we did not appear. We don't represent you in a TPO.
Well, Kevin.
Can you ask? I don't know if it's will allow you not to
back on mute.
retain us.
My suggestion is that you pay attention to what's happening so that you'll know what's going on. All right, go ahead, Mr. Woodward.
Ma'am,
Ms. King.
Mr. King, no, sir. We're in the middle of a hearing.
You won't allow me to retain counsel, ma'am?
No, sir. She doesn't represent you at the TPO, so she's obviously not.
She said if you give her a chance to.
Back on mute because we're in the middle of a hearing, Mr. King.
This is how he behaves regularly, Your Honor. Ms. King, once again, at that point, did he yank your son out of the car?
yeah, so he was like, come on, get out. And then he started yelling at me, continuing from a conversation that we had just had prior to him pulling up about him wanting to know my address, saying that I have to know my address.
After he pulled your son out of the car, did he place your son next to the car?
Correct. Yes, he did.
And then did he proceed to act violently towards you in the car?
Yes.
What did he do next?
He was yelling that I needed to give him my address. And so I told him that I'm not having the conversation, and I tried to leave. And that's when he started banging on my window, the passenger window on the side where my son sits. And he shattered it and then banged on the one right behind it.
Okay. And he actually shattered, he hit the vent window and the passenger side window so hard he actually shattered them.
Correct, yes.
And then did he proceed to come to the driver's side?
And he ran over to the driver's side and started banging on that window, trying to shatter that one as well.
Okay. And And did he say anything to you while he was banging on your window?
Yes, he actually ran back around to where he shattered the passenger and pulled his head into the car and was yelling that he should effing kill me. And if I were to call the police, then he would shoot me in the face and make our son an orphan.
Okay, I'm going to show the court what I have listed as plaintiffs 2 at this time. And if the court will bear with me 1 second.
All right. So if you want to take your time to pull that up, I can run and jump until these folks real quick.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I'll pull it up.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Mr. Whitworth. I have a broken foot, so it's taking me a little longer to get around.
No, thank you. I apologize, Your Honor. We're having technical difficulties on our end anyway. We were unable to, for some reason, on the Zoom system this morning, our share file is not working, and I'm trying to find out what the situation is.
Is that Ms. Castle messed that up?
I think it is totally her fault. That is correct, Your Honor.
She'll probably be fired. But...
I right after this here, and I think that will happen.
Thank you.
If I could present it, I don't know if the court, if
I can see that, yeah.
Can you, Mr. King, can you see this photograph that I'm holding up as well?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I do. Thank you. Yes, sir,
Okay.
I see it.
Okay. And do you recognize that car in the broken windows?
I do recognize the vehicle, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, Miss King, can you hear me? Take yourself off mute, please.
I don't see Miss King here. I believe she might have dropped off.
Well, if the court will bear with us, maybe Miss King will lock. She might have had Wi-Fi issues.
Oh, there she is.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Miss King, could you take yourself off mute, please?
Your Honor.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes, ma'am.
We're in the middle of a hearing.
Pardon me, ma'am?
We're in the middle of a hearing.
I was just gonna ask, since I guess I'm representing myself, would I be allowed to call forth witnesses?
Not the person that's sitting in the room with you, no.
There's no one sitting in the room with me currently, ma'am. No, ma'am.
They're in the room with you right now. Where are they?
There's nobody in the house. I had my girlfriend is actually at a different location. Well, with my
There's
daughter.
somebody that was just beside you to your right.
Yeah, she was here earlier, and I asked her to leave after you had left, ma'am.
If that aren't there, then that's fine. You can call a witness, and you'll get to ask this question.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. He asked if you could see that picture with the window covered up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I'll continue my question then. Miss King, you recognize this vehicle?
Yes.
Is that a true and accurate depiction of your vehicle?
Yes, it is.
And does that vehicle represent the damage that Mr. King did to your vehicle?
Yes, it does.
And was your son there at the time witnessing this?
He was.
And I'm holding up a second photograph. Do you recognize this photograph?
Yes, I do.
And does that photograph truly represent the blood stains on the door?
Yes, it does.
And you took these photographs?
I did.
And a third photograph, is that the same vehicle?
Yes, it is.
And you took all three of these photographs, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'll submit this as plaintiffs 2 at this time.
All right. Any objections, sir?
No, ma'am. No,
All
ma'am.
right. It's admitted.
And that is your personal property. That vehicle is your vehicle, correct?
Correct.
And that is the damage that Mr. King did to that vehicle while you were sitting inside of it, correct?
Yes, it is.
And when he came to your side of the vehicle, did he attempt to do damage to your vehicle from the driver's side?
Yes, he started banging on the window, trying to break that window out as well.
And did he make any statements to you at that time?
He did. He threatened to kill me and told me if I were to get the police involved, he would shoot me in the face and make our son an orphan.
Was your child there at the time?
Yes, he was.
And did your child hear all of this?
He did. He was sitting there crying,
And
begging for to stop.
and did Mr. King then immediately take your child and leave the scene?
He did after he finished banging out the windows, yes. He then put our son in the car and sped off.
Okay. Did he claim you ran over his foot?
He did.
Did you run over his foot?
No.
And did the fire department, the people at the fire department, did they pull you out into safety?
Yes, they did. They told me to just put my car in park and come inside. They called the police and to come inside where I can be safe until the police arrive.
Okay. And does Mr. King have a history of this sort of abuse?
Yes, he does.
And it's Mr. King, has he ever struck you before?
He has. Back in September of 2019, he came to the house and was being hostile and aggressive towards me. And he ended up smashing the back of my head on the ground outside in front of the kids. And as he had his fingers in my eyeballs, he was saying that he could kill me.
Was your son around at that time?
Yes, he was.
And has he come to your home with a sledgehammer threatening to break down the door?
Yes, he has, and he told the police that as well.
And has he ever strangled you?
He has, yes.
Do you have cause and concern to be afraid of Mr. King at this time?
I do.
Do you have cause and concern to be afraid that he is going to exhibit these behaviors and or do these behaviors to your child?
I do.
And you made a recording of that day, did you not?
I did.
And in the recording, he is clearly stating that he is going to kill you and make your son an orphan, is he not?
Yes.
And you have taken out a probable cause warrant or attempted to take out a probable cause warrant on his time with that recording, have you not?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And you also filed a modification to seek custody of protective custody of your son as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, no further questions for this witness.
All right. Mr. King, do you have questions?
I do now. Miss King.
Mm-hmm.
So the dates in question, did I not text you before asking you about a text message through a text message asking you about your new address, which was never told to me at any time, because it does say in our previous court order for custody that we both have to tell each other where we live and have each other's address.
Yeah, she sent a text saying, FYI, I don't have your new address.
Okay. So, but we do have a court order that says that we are both supposed to let the other one know where we are, where our address is, correct? Yes or no?
I'm not sure of the details of the previous court
You're not sure of the details of the petition. Okay. So there's not a court order from our previous custody that says that in light of us moving, that we are supposed to tell the other parent where we are moving to.
Maybe I'm not. I don't know what.
Maybe, Your Honor, I would like to show that in our previous custody, it does state that both parents, we are to tell the other parent where we are moved to, or and give each other our address. Ma'am, she is that we are supposed to we're to give each other our address, and then in light of, so that just in case of any sort of an emergency, Miss King refused to give me her address, saying that she would not give me her address until I had done things that she had asked of me. I'm sorry.
Are you asking questions about your modification? Because, I mean, tell me how that is something I would need to know when she's talking about you breaking out from it.
I'm getting to that, ma'am. So when I showed up to the fire station,
like, you have need more questions for her.
No, I do. I'm sorry. So when I showed up to the fire station, Miss King, did I not open up the passenger side back door and restate that, hey, I never got, that text message from you?
You yanked on my back door, and then you was like, you still haven't given me the address. I'm gonna need that address.
Okay, that's definitely not how it went. Okay, ma'am. So, Ms. King, so are you stating that I broke out these windows? That I broke these windows out while our child was in the car?
No, he had gotten out of the car, and then you started banging on the window.
I started banging on the window, and so I started banging on the window with an open door, and because of what, ma'am? Why did I just start banging on the window?
I was trying to leave, and then you started banging on the window.
Your Honor, like I said before, I do.
Your Honor, I have to object. If he has a question, he can ask a question.
Your Honor, I do have Your Honor, I do have I have put in a subpoena for a camera across the street at the I apologize, at the parking garage, which would show that I had let my child out of the car and was talking to her not in an aggressive manner, and that Miss King had pulled off with the door still open while I was talking to her, which jerked me forward and she rolled over my foot, ma'am.
Okay, so
and I asked her,
is this the same day that you broke her window?
This is the same day that the window was broken. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So ask her a specific question. You don't have the time to tell me what happened, but ask her.
So, ma'am, I'm still waiting on this recording. So, Ms. King, you said you have a recording of me threatening your life. Could courts please hear the recording?
I'm not sure my attorney has it.
Okay. Mr. Whitworth?
I'm sorry?
We would like to hear the recording of me threatening to shoot her in the face and make our child an orphan.
Yes, I'll be happy to play it. Your Honor, if we could, and invite one of my paralegals into the meeting, please.
Oh, okay. She got a name on here?
I'm sending it into the chat room. It is 11 minutes. I'll tell the court. And I'm not sure. I'm typing. It's legal assistant at swhitworthlaw.com.
Do I have somebody, their Zoom name? Do I have a Yolanda Hannah?
No.
That's my witness, ma'am.
And so I guess it's Lupe or.
And that's another witness, ma'am.
She's trying to get in right now. It's going to come across as maybe legal assistant. Okay. It's going to be Ariel Carson.
Okay. Oh, they were getting here earlier. So
yeah, she's here.
Okay. All right, she's here. So what do you need her to do?
Yeah, we're downloading the audio as right now, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, sir, until I can get the audio, do you want to go ahead and ask her another question?
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Do you want to go ahead and ask her another question while they're downloading the audio?
No, ma'am. We I actually would like to invite Miss Hannah into and ask.
No, not yet. What other questions do you have for Ms. King?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. You said so, Miss King. You stated that on September 24th, 2019, that I came into your home aggressively and attacked you, and then I banged the back of your head on the asphalt. Correct?
I said that you came to the house. We had an argument.
No, you said I came in an aggressive manner, but just yes or no, ma'am. Please, just yes or no.
Yes, you did bang my head on like a.
Okay. So, in the midst of that, when I arrived there, or whatever. There was a police. There was a police report that was made that day also, correct?
Correct.
Yes. Do you happen to have that police report?
No, I do not.
Your Honor, I have also put in a sanction to have the police report for that day in, and I'm still waiting for that to get back to me also, ma'am. That would show that not only Miss King, that the police report that was made.
Hold on. You will get a chance to testify. This is questions for Miss King only.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize.
Okay.
So Miss King, okay, and then you also stated that I arrived to your now former home with a sledgehammer, threatening to break down the door, correct?
Correct.
Was there a police report made that day?
Yes.
Where is that police report, ma'am?
You have to request a copy of it.
And you did not request a copy of any of these police reports?
I'm sure I have.
Would you like to present them?
No.
Mr. King.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Yeah, she didn't get a copy of the police report.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Do you have any more?
That's fine, Your Honor.
All right. Is the video ready?
Bear with me 1 second. I think it is, Your Honor. Your Honor, Ms. King, did you take an audio of the recording when this incident happened?
Yes, it was an audio.
Okay. And in that audio, did you have, what parties were on that audio?
I'm sorry?
What parties were on that audio? Was it yourself and Mr. King?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And you recorded the behavior that happened on January 5th?
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to play this audio for you right now, okay? And ask the court if the court can hear it. Mr. King, let me know if you can hear it as well, okay?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, my notes.
This is what we're doing now, because I didn't sign stuff over for my passport. You're not gonna give me the address.
That and you also don't pay child support.
You never asked me for child support.
I guess I have, but then
When?
check your messages.
When? I can check my messages.
Okay,
I don't
check
have it in my
them.
messages.
Well, that's on you.
Okay. But it's
You also have the court order. You know your responsibilities.
you want
Bye-bye.
right, let me tell you something for real. You know exactly what it was going. Oh,
What are you doing?
You're on my foot. I swear to God.
No, I'm not.
What?
I'm saying I'm off your foot. I'm not on your foot. I'm not on your foot. What are you doing? What are you?
Serious.
I'm serious.
What happened? Miss King, was that part of the audio that you took that day?
Yes.
Okay. And in that audio, what was he doing at that time?
He was smashing out the windows.
Okay. And you asked him to stop,
Yes.
and that was him smashing the windows?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
I dropped the disease off and I left. I dropped the disease off and I was leaving. Don't do that. Look what you did.
Don't do what? You just ran over my foot.
Aziz, I did not know it was on your foot.
In my fucking all my life, I ain't never done shit. I ain't never put my hands on you. You always try to hurt me. You always try to hurt me.
No.
I swear to God. If you bring these motherfuckers into this shit, they will not be able to protect you from me. I swear to God, before it's all said and done, before they're doing me, understand me. I'll handle you, and it's empty and fucking in an orphanage, because I'll be.
Miss King, At that time, is that Mr. King threatening you?
Yes.
And what did he threaten you with?
That he would kill me if I were to include the police, and he would have a season over.
Busted.
Are the cops on the scene?
I can't hear it.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I'll submit that audio into evidence.
All right. The objection, Mr. King, you wanted the audio. There was.
Yes, Your Honor. A few objections because there were times in that audio where it was very muffled, and even Miss King stated that you couldn't hear what was being said. And
I think I heard the pertinent part. I mean, I'm going to admit it on what I can actually hear. I'm not going to admit it on something muffled. But I hear you screaming that she ran over your effing foot. You have an evidence. So I heard all I wanted to hear what you were going to do. I heard it. So go ahead. Do you have any more questions for Ms. King?
I have no more questions, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Whitworth, do you have anything else?
Just a quick follow-up. Ms. King, does it say anywhere in the parenting plan or the divorce decree that if you do not give the address to him, he has a right to threaten to kill you and destroy your property?
No, sir.
Okay, nothing further, Your Honor.
Right. Mr. King, go ahead. Let me hear your side.
Yes, Your Honor. So on January 5th, I had text Makila before leaving the home. Well, originally, Makila and I had spoken because I had to work late. I get off work around 4 o'clock, and she's told me that Aziz had no choir practice that day, and that I told her, well, I wouldn't be able to pick him up at 4:30 like I usually do because I get off at 4 o'clock. Excuse me. So she stated that okay, well, she had picked him up, and then we can meet at the fire station like we usually do. I agreed, and right before I left to go meet her, I just shot her a text and said, hey, FYI, I never got your new address, which was something that is in the court in our divorce settlement where we have to provide each other the other's address so that we know that where our child is just in case of emergencies. And that Miss King was so adamant about us sharing our addresses with each other that she refused to let me have my son until I gave her the proper address for where I currently live. So I asked her for her address. She never responded. I got to the location, the meetup spot, and got out of the car. I opened up the rear passenger side door. I kissed my son and said, hey, bud, how you doing? He said, hey. He hopped out the car and he stood right behind me. So I was standing inside the pocket of the rear side passenger door, and my son was standing right behind me. So I leaned my head in real quick. I said, hey, did you get my text? She said, yeah. I said, well, I never got a response. She said, I'm not gonna give you anything, Aziz, until you give me child support. And I'm like, man, that's what we're doing right now. That's what we're doing right now. Like, for real. Like, I'm a single parent also. I have a daughter of my own that I have to take care of by myself with no help from anyone else. So, and then Makila makes it a point to not only flaunt what type of money she has, but also always showing like how she's better than me financially. I said, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. As I'm talking, as you can hear, she's like, bye. And the door is still open at this time, Your Honor. And she pulls off. My son is still standing behind me. She pulls off my hand. I'm holding the handle of the door, and I have my other hand placed on the side of the car. As she pulls off, it jerks me forward, and she rolls over my foot. And that's when I start screaming that you're on my effing foot. You're on my effing foot. You know, ma'am. So I'm sitting there screaming, and she's like, She starts acting like she doesn't know what's going on. As you can hear in the audio, she's talking about she's sorry, but she doesn't move the car. She's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. And then I'm swinging because I'm scared, man. I'm scared. I'm cursing at her and everything. I hit the back window in a panic, and then she throws the car in reverse and starts backing over me. She starts backing over me. That's when I hit the other window and trying to catch myself. That's how all the blood ended up on the door. And I'm trying to get myself from up under the car before she runs over me.
So she ran over your foot, and then she's backing up because whatever, trying to get away. And you don't move your foot.
I was trying to pull my foot from up under the car, man.
But I mean, if she has ran over your foot, what she ran over your foot and your foot was gone, why didn't you move it?
I was stuck up under the tire, man.
But she said she's not. Then she said she's not on your foot, so she just sat there with a car on your foot. Yes.
Man, I'm trying to tell you that she sat there with the car on my foot, and then she backed the car over me.
You're standing to the side of the car. How could she back over you?
I'm pulling my leg from up under the car, man. I can really
in the back of the car so that she can back over you. You're standing on the side of the car in the back, so you're beside the car. Not sure what kind of car she has. It's the car. Here's the wheel. You're on this side. Here's your foot. First of all, she runs over and she backs up. So you still, at no point are you behind the car for her to back over you.
My leg is up under the tire, man.
How'd it go from your foot to your leg?
Because my foot is attached to my leg, Your Honor.
Ding, ding. Man, I wish I would have mathematics school. How does your entire leg get up? This didn't even make any sense.
Ma'am, I'm trying to tell you, when she pulled forward, she rolled over my foot.
Right? And then she rolled completely over it.
She ran completely over my foot,
okay,
ma'am.
So why didn't you pull why didn't you back up?
I just said that, Your Honor, that I was pulling from up under the tire.
Your foot, your leg is. Never mind. Okay.
Your Honor,
I know.
Can I show the court what I'm talking about then?
Folks want me to go to medical school. No matter what they say, being a lawyer is just as good as being a doctor. I know that is physiologically impossible.
I'm trying to explain to you what happened, ma'am.
Okay, what you're saying doesn't make sense, so move on.
Can I show you?
You got a video.
I don't have a video, but I can show you how it happened, how the transition happened, ma'am.
You had to have laid down so that she could then run over your leg.
Ma'am, I was pivoting and trying to back up from under the car, from under the tire of the car. My foot is under and goes up under the tire. So I had my foot like this, ma'am, up under the tire. Sorry. Had my foot like this, up under the tire.
And you said she rolls completely over. All you have to do is pull your foot back.
She ran over my foot, Your Honor, right? And I'm like this. And now the tire is coming back over my foot.
You said she ran completely over and you pulled your foot back.
Your Honor, I just said she ran completely over my foot and I was stuck up under the tire. My foot was stuck up under the tire.
Okay, go ahead, whatever. Well, I mean, you were busting out her windows.
I was busting out her windows because she was running over me.
Okay, what's next? Why were you holding the door open and stuff? I mean, this happened. I don't know if this was intentional. This happened. Why were you holding on to the door and trying to keep her there and just racing Kane with her anyway?
Your Honor, I was speaking to her civilly about something that we both have a court order for. That's it. I didn't know that she was just gonna buy and throw the car and drive and start driving off on me.
Okay, what else? And what do you want me to hear from Yolanda Hannah? What does she know?
Because Yolanda Hannah, I had her on the phone.
I still think she's there at your house. I mean, she was just sitting beside you like a nana.
And I asked her to leave, Your Honor. I don't have any reason to lie.
What does she know specifically?
Because she heard the whole thing while I was talking to her on the phone.
Okay, but I just heard it too. Recording play.
But I'm saying
the recording play. She heard it I heard the recording. So I don't need to hear from her what she heard. She wasn't there.
She could also testify to you about what type of person I am, ma'am.
But, I mean, character doesn't really matter. This is not about character. This is about violence. Mr. Whitworth, do you have any questions for him?
Mr. Aziz, did you go seek medical treatment for your foot that was run over?
I did, sir.
Okay. Do you have that medical report here today?
I do not, sir, because I was hoping for a continuance.
And Mr. Aziz, after you shattered both of her windows, you then proceeded, according to the recording, to go to the driver's side, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you walked over to the driver's side, and then you proceeded to berate her from the driver's side at that time, correct?
That's not how it happened, sir, but you can use that word, I guess.
Okay. And at that time, that's when you threatened to make your son an orphan, correct?
No, sir, it's not.
You didn't say that.
Well, you can hear in the video that I said I was going to, make her an orphan because, how Cobb County and clearly Fulton County treats all people are one-sided.
So by making your son an orphan, that involves the killing or the death of a parent, correct?
It doesn't necessarily, sir.
Okay. All right.
I don't have to put my hands on you for you to whatever, sir. I haven't put my hands on her initiating anything, sir.
All right. And then you proceeded to take your child and put him in your car and drive away, correct?
I had already told him to get in the car because she was backing over me and I didn't want him to get hit, sir.
And then you walked away and got in your car and pushed the gas pedal and the brake pedal and drove away, correct?
No, I drove away, sir, and went to the police station.
Okay. And, sir, your son was witnessing this assault on his mother the whole time, correct?
That's not what happened, sir.
All right. And in the summer of 2014, did you not attack the petitioner and punch holes in the wall of the home?
I did not.
And you never hit the petitioner in the face, leaving a mark near her eye?
I did not.
You never dug your thumbs into petitioner's eyes and pushed her down on the back and began to strangle her?
I did not.
And you never showed up at the house with a sledgehammer threatening to break her front door down?
I did do that, yes, sir.
Okay. So you threatened to break her, and what were you going to do if you got in the house after breaking it down with a sledgehammer?
Well, sir, I showed up to her house and called the police to come get me because that's what I was going to do, so that they would answer a call because I spent all that day asking for her to bring my daughter back and she wouldn't, and nobody would answer. So that was the only way I could get the police involved, and they got involved. I was never going to go into her house.
So you came to the house with a weapon, threatening to destroy property, called the police on yourself to save her from you?
No, sir. I called to make the police to react because she kidnapped my daughter.
Okay. And when did the police remove you from the property at that time?
No, they did not.
Okay. All right. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, so I'm just curious, Ms. King, how else do you make somebody an orphan? How are you going to what was your meaning behind you're going to make your son an orphan? I just want to know.
No, both of us could be put away. Honestly, both of us could be put in jail if he doesn't have his parents. But I'm not.
If somebody's in jail,
words were exchanged. I have videos.
Right, so I got you muted because you won't start talking with me. If somebody's in jail, the child's not an orphan. Children become orphans when their families or the mom or dad, somebody's, gone, but it doesn't make them an orphan, I mean, yeah, they're without their parent there, but they're not necessarily orphans. So I wasn't.
Well, they're orphanages that kids' parents aren't involved in their lives.
That's a little bit.
They're orphans, but they're not.
Not school with me on anything.
I'm not trying to know what I'm saying.
I'm muting you again. You're not going to think you're going to school me on anything. I know the definition of orphan. So what you meant to say is Miss King, we're both going to go to prison. So instead of saying we're both going to go to jail, you said you're going to make the kid know. I get it. I know what you mean. Next, do you have anything else you want to say, Mr. King?
Ma'am, I just want to say that like everything that was being said is either bold-faced lie or half truth, ma'am. Like I know that the video or the audio is showing a skewed view, but I am not a person who I am not a violent person towards my child. My child has nothing to worry about when it comes towards me at all, ma'am. I'm a good father. I'm a great father, and I have no reason to jeopardize my son. All I care about here, what I'm doing here today, ma'am, is just simply to get my son.
So after you're over foot, you get. Do you know how hard you got to punch a car window to break it? So not only you broke you broke what, 3 windows?
2, ma'am.
2. So why'd you go break the other?
You said, why did I or why didn't I, ma'am?
Didn't. Why did you break the other window?
I broke the first window because she was rolling over my foot, and I was hitting it, trying to get her off my foot. It broke. The second window was because out of panic when she was backing over me, man. It wasn't like I was just walking around her car on purpose and breaking out windows, man. That's not what happened.
All right. Anything else? Closing arguments? I mean, I'm not going to hear from the girlfriend. She had nothing I want to hear from her.
Well, my Miss King is also online, ma'am, and I would like to call her as a witness from talking about Miss King's alleged me bashing her head on.
You've asked her. I gave you a chance to ask her a question.
I want to call my witness, ma'am.
Who's your witness?
Lupe King, ma'am. She logged in already.
Who's she?
She's my mother, ma'am.
You know, I have to object unless she has firsthand knowledge and actually witnessed the incident.
She does, ma'am. She does.
So she was there when you were picking up your son.
She has firsthand knowledge and a witness of that the history that Miss King talks about of violence that's between her and I is not accurate, ma'am.
And it's your mom.
She's not.
I will go ahead and take judicial notice that your mother is going to say you're a phenomenal young man.
No, ma'am.
And you say everything that says a lie. I will take judicial notice that your mom is going to say everything.
Ma'am, she has audio recording. This is not my mother.
You do not have a counterclaim against Miss King, so there's nothing I can do.
Ma'am, I can't counterclaim her, ma'am, for a TPO because she lives in Cobb County. She refuses to give me the address. I would have had a TPO put out for her.
I mean, there's nothing I can do to her or about her.
Ma'am, I'm saying that right now I am not a danger to my son.
Closing argument. That's what I want from you. Closing argument. Yes, ma'am. My closing argument is that I'm not a danger to my son. I have never been a danger to my son. There's numerous evidence against Miss King that if the court would allow me the opportunity, there's numerous evidence against Miss King showing that she is the aggressor and that she is the one that's the abuser, and that I am just here trying to fight for my rights as a father and to be in my son's life. I have nothing to do with Miss King. I don't want anything to do with Miss King. I just want the opportunity to be with my son and around my son. And so we have to adjust a pick up and drop off plan so that she and I do not interact. That is fine with me. I just ask for you not to pull me out of my son's life. That you can put the TPO on me for her, ma'am, but I'm asking for you not to do it to me and my son, please.
Your Honor, I think clearly there's a history that in this matter that has been violent, has happened in front of the child. Clearly, Mr. King is well within the statutory guidelines to grant a TPO. He clearly has destroyed property. He's clearly threatened bodily harm. He's clearly considered an assault and not argue a battery. That being said, he's doing this in front of a 9-year-old child who is sitting there watching him. His story of running over his foot is absolutely absurd. A 2-ton car ran over his foot, backed up and ran over his leg, and he walks around and proceeds to try and shatter the driver's side window while he's threatening bodily harm, saying the mother's going to be an orphan if she gets law enforcement involved. Then he gets in his car and drives away and walks into the police station because he knows, as usual, he lost his temper and he created a scenario that's going to cause him trouble. He testified that he showed up at her house with a sledgehammer, intent to force the door open. No, he testified that. He called the police on himself with some deluded notion that he was going to have the cops do something they wouldn't do if he didn't show up with a sledgehammer at her house. Based on the preponderance of the evidence and what the court has heard, based on the pattern of behavior, I think the court can believe that this is a history of abuse. I think the court can believe Ms. King that he did strangle her, that he does have a history of physically assaulting her and threatening her, especially the force it would take to shatter a car window, tempered glass in a car window, safety glass, the absolute force behind that to break 2 separate windows, and the absolute anger behind that is terrifying. And then to walk around the car to the other side and attempt to do it while she's sitting behind the wheel of her car, all while his son is watching, is absolutely terrifying. He is going to harm this individual, and he is not going to stop. The problem is we're concerned he is going to start disparaging the mother, threatening the child. He has already shown this behavior to the child. He has already terrorized the child. The child is sitting there in a state of trauma and fear while the father is physically destroying a car and threatening to kill the mother. The child has continuously seen abuse from the father. The child is in danger by this man on multiple levels, and we think at this point it'd be in the best interest to the father to remain away from the whole family until such time as the court could proceed with the proper authorities, proper specialists, and find out what's really going on with this man before he could cause some real harm, because his behavior is escalating and escalating. And we have genuine fear for the child and the mother that his next outburst may be the one where he does eliminate everyone as he has threatened to do. So this is a serious case, Your Honor. He's not even denying his actions. Nothing in his defense validates his actions at all. And so we'll ask for a 12-month protective order for the mother and the child. Child support's already established, although he has refused to pay support, and he is not paying support, but that's part of the other action on the modification, which will be a contempt as well. Thank you.
Is the other action, is it in Cobb or is it in Fulton?
I believe it's in Fulton because he lives in Fulton, Your Honor.
Let's see, do we know which judge it's assigned to?
Bear with me 1 second, Your Honor.
It's Judge Farmer, ma'am.
Is it a Judge Farmer case? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Sounds like y'all gonna need a guardian.
Yes, ma'am.
It's definitely gonna head in that direction. Yes.
All right. I mean, I could go ahead and appoint a guardian in this case in case y'all have to come back, and in that case, if you'd like.
That would expedite matters. Yes, Your Honor.
It's like, so how are you guys going to do? Sir, you're going to have the cost?
We would split it 50-50. Obviously, it's our contention. Mr. King is going to need some sort of substantial assistance to deal with his violent nature.
All right.
No, ma'am. I don't agree. I don't agree with what Mr. Woodward was saying there.
But about your violent nature or the guardian?
About my violent nature, ma'am.
Okay, well, he's a lawyer. That's what he does. So we're putting this in place for 12 months. Since this other case is Judge Farmer, I'm going to appoint a guardian. Let me see if I can, in that way, a second. So, Mr. King, if you place your email in the chat, we'll send you a copy of the order once it's done. Also, we'll have your email address so I can send it to the guardian. And Mr. Whitworth, I'll have the guardian, I'll give the guardian your contact info. Let's see.
So, Your Honor, you're saying that I can't see my son for 12 months?
I'm telling you, I am putting a guardian in place in this case in case you come back here and in the modification case, because Judge Farmer's going to want a guardian anyway. I already know. So right this get a head start on what's going on. So we'll put this in place. Mr. Whitworth, if we send you the Word document of the order, do you mind typing it up? I think we're down to 2 people in the office today.
I guess Miss Castle's going to keep her job then. Yeah, that's no.
Only if she can do this. It's writing on this.
Yeah, yes, Your Honor. I'll make sure it happens.
If there are any mistakes, back to the drawing board.
I understand.
All right. So I will get the guardian's name and I will give her your contact info. And Mr. King, place your email in chat and we'll give her your contact info. She's going to send you a questionnaire. Fill out the questionnaire. If she needs any consent sign, like the school registry, things like that, just both of y'all have to participate. This guardian is basically acting as an arm, myself and Mr. Farmer. So when this guardian's talking to you, it's like me saying something or Judge Farmer saying something. So if she's asking you to do something, just think of it as here Judge Farmer is telling you to do. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Once you place your email in chat, y'all can all leave. I'll put this in for 12 months.
Yeah, but I still, so I can't see my son though.
It's in place right now. So we will get the guardian will start working on this. She'll get in touch with you. We'll figure out when you need to be able to see your child, if anything needs to be supervised or what have you. That's the guardian's job. Guardian's going to talk to you, see your son, and talk to Miss King. So if you have witnesses, get your witnesses. Don't run out and give her like, you know, your bishop, your pastor, your rabbi, your mom, your dad. You know, people have first-hand knowledge. Get them all in one place.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So yeah, and y'all can split it. It'll say y'all, Mr. King, also when I write an order and it says pay the guardian, you have to pay the guardian. The guardian's like a car runs out of gas or didn't work. So guardian runs out of money, and it'll be a great guardian who's not going to just ask for money to ask for money. So you'll keep it replenished. I think most of the guardians, like once their account gets down to like $1,000, I think they ask for a little bit more to be replenished. But it'll be a guardian that's straight to the point. All right. Thank you both. Thank you, Ms. Whitworth. Thank you, Ms. King. Thank you, Mr. King. Once y'all please emails in chat, y'all can go ahead and leave the meeting. Y'all stay healthy and safe.
Well, that does it for today's video. And the order is in place for now, and a guardian is also appointed. I have a feeling long-term it's going to be supervised visits or no visits until he takes some classes, but that is my opinion. And I am not the one deciding. And like Judge Manning says, you all stay healthy and safe.